What if hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways in the body-mind could be very simply and succinctly understood through the organization of 4 distinct memory systems, which are each filed, organized, and existing and operating and developing and expanding and stored and projecting information and doing their job and all this stuff in relation with 4 distinct attachment systems that each carry distinct, specific internal needs. So there's these very specific needs, and then there's all these experiences through life, and it creates all this energetic information in the body-mind, and then all of that is organized in 4 distinct systems, allowing it to be very succinctly and simply understood so that we have greater power to interpret occurrences of everyday life, and from this expanded awareness, interject the power of our own internal energy to shapeshift and positively affect that any way that we choose. The first attachment system needs a felt sense of being seen, loved, treasured, appreciated, and celebrated. And then all of these experiences throughout life, beginning from infancy, all of these experiences in relation with these specific needs create trillions of energetic pathways that are organized in relation with the reception of energy. The reception of energy, receiving energy. The second attachment system needs a felt sense of safety, security, protection, and provision. And based on experiences, again, throughout all of life since infancy, all of this energetic information gathered through experiences are then organized in relation with these specific needs and then provide navigation in relation with preserving energy. And then the third attachment system needs a felt sense of support, connection, closeness, vulnerability, collaboration, and community. And based on experiences in relation with the well-being of those very specific internal needs, the body-mind has hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of energetic pathways of information that help to navigate the extension of energy. The fourth attachment system needs a felt sense of respect, embrace, allowance, opportunistic space, and directional guidance. And based on the well-being of those needs, in relation with all these experiences that have happened throughout all of life, then there are these trillions of energetic pathways that navigate the perception of energy, And so the body-mind has these 4 navigational systems that help it to perceive, receive, preserve, and extend energy as the self experiences navigation of reality through the body-mind. And then, based on all the information stored in here and how that information is being activated, then the body-mind provides a certain type of navigation, which also affects internal regulation. And among the infinite potentials, clues of this internal activity are observable through explicit and implicit thought forms. Explicit and implicit thought forms. Explicit thought forms are obvious. They involve narration, dialogue, words, phrases. Explicit thought forms are more obvious. They're observable through narration or dialogue or words or phrases. If you hear a little thought that's like telling you something, that would be an explicit thought form. And then there's implicit thought forms, which are less specific, more abstract, a little more difficult to really pinpoint and explicitly described. Implicit thought forms come through emotions and sensations and feelings and somatic responses and gut feelings and emotions and these more abstract energies that aren't as obvious as words or phrases or sentences or dialogue. And so explicit and implicit thought forms might come up through what we perceive as the mind, the awareness of the self experiencing observations of its own internal existence through a conceptualization of a mind. The mind can be like a little play space for the inner realities to be projecting themselves into so that the awareness of the self can perceive and respond to them. And so these thought forms can be observed through the mind, or from the mind, or in the mind. But the thought forms are just a teeny, 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 itsy bitsy fractal of a clue of what's actually happening inside. What's actually happening inside. Because approximately 99.08% of inner realities exist and operate beyond conscious knowledge, direct perception, and immediate awareness. This is one of the many implicit revelations discovered through my case study. You can find out more about that in other web pages and content creations. So what we observe on the surface through things like thought forms, explicit or implicit thought forms, are really just a teeny, teeny, tiny fraction of what's actually happening inside. They're just a teeny, teeny, tiny clue of what's happening deeper within. What is observed is less than 1% of everything truly happening inside of our beingness. And the fascinating part about all of this is that not only are there hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways in the body-mind, okay, information in the brain and the body based on experiences that have created energetic information, okay? But there are also hundreds of trillions of parts of the self who are encountering life through that brain-body wiring beyond our awareness. And so if we have a thought form, there are parts of the self who are encountering that thought form we can clearly observe. But then there are actually hundreds and thousands and millions, maybe even billions or trillions of parts of the self who are flowing through the subconscious of the body-mind and encountering all of the predecessors to that thought form. There are parts of the self encountering body-mind activity that precedes the thought form. The thought is just a clue of the wiring of the body-mind and how it is being activated. And there are parts of the self who are in that internal activity beyond our awareness. So if we respond to a thought form, we're connecting with like a couple parts of the self and forgetting that there are hundreds and thousands and millions of parts of the self who are experiencing the body-mind deeper than that surface level thought form and information that precedes that thought form. And bringing awareness to this is like the key cornerstone to reclaiming power. Because if we're up here and we respond to a thought form, we're not responding to the self, we're responding to a surface clue of implicit projections. And if we respond to the parts of ourself who are experiencing the thought form, that's better. We're responding to the self and not just automations. But that's like maybe 3 parts of the self when there are hundreds and thousands and billions, millions, trillions of parts of the self deeper in the body-mind who also need our love and our power. And the hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways of the body-mind are organized in relation with the well-being of specific attachment needs. And so at the foundation of every clue are not just information about how experience has created energy in the body-mind to navigate the energies of reality, but specifically, there's these distinct attachment needs, not in the past, but in the present. The attachment needs are not from age 2. The attachment needs are not from a few years ago. The attachment needs are only ever here and now. And so at the foundation of every clue, every thought form, every perception, every emotion, every response, every sensation, every dialogue, every narrative of the mind is actually deeper activity in the body-mind. And all of that activity of neural data or unconscious memories, or however you want to describe it, but that energetic activity exists in relation with how these internal needs of attachment systems are doing. How these internal needs of attachment systems are doing right here, right now. And past experiences have obviously affected the well-being of attachment systems because it's created all this information through unconscious memories in the body-mind. But attachment systems don't carry specific information. They only carry abstract energetic frequencies of love. Memory systems carry specific information that makes these very specific thought forms. But attachment systems are deeper in the foundation of the body-mind, and they don't carry specific information. They only hold energies of love. Frequencies of love that vibrate either really slow and low or really high and really fast, depending on how these attachment systems are doing, how these internal needs of attachments are doing. We can reclaim power and create healing, restoration, and loving liberation when we start to recognize what's happening in the mind as a clue of what's happening deeper in the body-mind, and when we can start to distinguish these parts of the self from the automations of experience. And that is one of the infinite purposes and potentials, the purposes, the purposes of the liberated consciousness treasure map. One of the infinite purposes of the liberated consciousness treasure map is to help the observational self trace back every automated thought form, every automated navigation of experience. So if you're in a certain situation and there's a response that comes up, or there's this chronic pattern of a certain thought form, or there's this chronic pattern of a certain sensation, or there's this chronic pattern of a certain style of dysregulation, or there's this chronic pattern of a certain type of internal navigation, maybe regarding how you perceive your body, or mind-body connection, or the way that you're able to love your body, or the way that you're able to communicate with other people, or maybe there's times where you have things to say, but you don't feel like you can actually physically verbalize them. Something stops you. Certain types of navigation and regulation within yourself and within components of reality and experience, okay? One of the infinite purposes of the Liberated Consciousness Treasure Map is to help the awareness of self trace back these clues, which is what we observe regarding that navigation within experience, to trace them back to specific regions of body-mind wiring, and to understand how experiences in relation with the well-being of attachment systems have created these certain styles of energetic navigation. And so then we're not just looking at the surface level of what we can immediately perceive, like, I had something to say, but something in my body wouldn't let me speak it. And I felt this tension and nervousness and inferiority and timidity when normally I don't feel it, but I had this thing to say and I couldn't say it. And I don't know why, and I wish I had been able to say it. It's just one of infinite examples, of course. Or you're in a situation and there's this thought form that's distracting you from being present. And no matter what you do or how much you're trying to engage here with other people or the situation, there's these automated thoughts or feelings, and they are so loud and so noisy that this inner projection is louder and stronger than what you're actually experiencing in the present moment. Okay, different types of navigation to be able to trace back those very specific clues, no matter what it is. Like literally, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a thought form, if it's a style of navigation, if it's a way that you instinctively interact with other people, there's literally any component of personal experience as observed through internal realities as that engages with anything, inner or outer realities, to trace back any type of surface clue and to understand how it's being created by body-mind wiring, as hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways are organized in 4 distinct memory systems, mostly unconscious memories, in relation with the well-being of specific internal needs throughout 4 distinct attachment systems, and how that neural wiring, this brain-body wiring, these structures of energetic data are creating different styles of subconscious meaning-making associations that then stimulate these projections of navigation in different ways and also affect regulation throughout all brain-body systems. From this expanded awareness, we not only are able to trace back very specific clues about experience, very specific instances that we're able to observe in chronic patterns of navigation or certain situational one-time occurrences of navigation inside the way you're instinctively encountering your own existence and how your own existence interacts with all components of reality, including other people and circumstances. Not only are we able to trace back those clues and understand what's happening in the 99.08% of inner realities that are totally way far beyond conscious knowledge, direct perception, and immediate awareness, not only are we able to trace back those clues to the foundation of the brain-body activity that's projecting and originally creating them, and to understand how all of these complex wirings are organized in a way that provides this very specific navigation throughout your experience. But in that process, we're also able to distinguish different aspects of the self. And it blows open everything. It blows everything wide open. Because then not only do you have power to understand your experience, not only do you have power to interpret surface level clues of experience and understand the deeper realities of what's creating that, but you can connect with the parts of the self who are within those subsations and subceptions, or subconscious sensations and subconscious perceptions. The parts of the self who are in that brain-body wiring, in those unconscious memory systems, in those attachment needs, beyond awareness. And there are trillions of parts of the self encountering each of these 4 body-mind systems. And throughout these 4 systems, those parts might not be fully connected with every other part in their system, and they might not be fully connected with all the parts in these other 4 systems, and they might not be fully associated with the self who is able to be aware of the mind and observing reality within the direct perception of experience. These parts of the self flowing through 4 distinct energetic systems of the body-mind may be described as the embodiers of sacred love, champions of sacred love, givers of sacred love, and love's sacred witness. And these parts of the self know how to receive, protect, extend, and perceive love. Receive, perceive, protect, extend. Preserve, give. And as we're able to not only understand what the heck is happening in personal experience, why did I not have the ability to vocalize my opinion in this situation? Why did my voice hold me back? Or whatever it might be. Not only are we able to understand how this body-mind wiring is affecting the navigation in these moments and to trace back very specific experiences to the core causality of how unconscious memories are organized through hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways in relation with specific internal needs of 4 distinct attachment systems. But in that process, we get to meet parts of the self. And those parts of the self have nothing to do with the experience, nothing to do with brain-body wiring, nothing to do with the automations, nothing to do with that instinctive navigation. The parts of the self are so much more than that. The parts of the self are so much more than any experience or any automatic brain-body wiring or any automatic experiences in finite human moments or any. The parts of the self are more than any unconscious memories or any implicit projections or any past experience. The parts of the self are so much more, and they want to be seen in that. They want to be known in that. They want to be respected in that. They want to be freed in the awareness of that. By exploring personal experience through the liberated consciousness treasure map, the infinite purposes of this diagram, we can help parts of the self know themselves as love. So if there are thought forms of loneliness, depression, insecurity, fear, worry, anxiety, self-doubt, overextending energy to try and be there for everyone else without fully being there for the self, no matter what's arising, whether there are chronic styles of consistent navigation through thoughts, feelings, or action patterns, instinctive habits or movements of the body, or emotions and sensations, or thoughts and narrative and dialogue, or whether it's a one-time situational experience where something unexpectedly comes up and you want to understand what's really happening so that you can be there for those parts of yourself as you navigate your unfolding realities in miraculous ways. We can help these parts of the self who are not the experience and not the brain-body wiring, but the actual self who is within the experience, the inner experiencer, the actual identity of the essence of the self, not the experience, not the brain-body wiring, but the self. We can help these parts of the self know themselves as love, independent of any experience that feels like less than perfect love. And these different parts of the self each play a different role in the identity of love. And that adds even greater layers and depths to this exploration. Because then you're not just helping these parts of the self be like, hey, you're love. So even though you feel this other stuff that doesn't feel like love, it's okay because you're love. It goes so much deeper than that. It goes so much deeper than that. So much deeper than that. Different parts of the self play a different, distinct role in experiencing and receiving and expressing and preserving and holding and experiencing the awareness of different types of energies of love. And the beautiful part is that love is the one space where the true essence of the self connects with the body-mind, where the identity of the self connects with experience. Because experience happens in relation with the well-being of attachment systems that hold frequencies of love. And the true identity of the self is unconditional love. And so no matter what brain-body wiring is, or what experiences have created it, or how the brain-body wiring is being organized, and how it's being activated, and how it's projecting navigation into reality and how it's creating these different thought forms and translations of experience and how these different things are arising. Regardless of any of those details, the one thing that the true essence of self and the body-mind wiring and experiences and stuff have in common is love. Because the body-mind is organized in relation with the well-being of internal attachment needs, and the true essence of self is this pure high vibration of unconditional love. And so we can explore the attachment systems at the base foundation of the body-mind and how hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways are organized on top of that, and how that's creating different navigational realities inside of yourself and in response to what is also outside of yourself. And we can explore these parts of the self who are within the body-mind experiences, within these experiences beyond awareness, within these foundational layers of the self. And we can explore who they are independent of experience. We can explore who they are independent of brain-body wiring. We can explore who they are independent of this automated navigation internally. And we can explore who they are in relation with each other, because there are these different parts of the self. They're not all the same. It's not just subconscious parts. It's not just self aspects. There's different parts of the self that play different roles in who the self is, how the self encounters its own existence, how the self navigates its own realities, etc. And we can explore the identity of love that is the foundation of all these different parts of the self, and explore how they are encountering realities in the body-mind beyond awareness. There's lots of amazing, very cool stuff. You can find out more about all these amazing concepts in my treasure trove, Treasure Maps of the Soul. It shares these different diagrams I've spent many years creating and the different purposes and potentials of them, a quick glimpse into the visuals of them, and all the different offerings that I share in regards to actually applying them through various services and creations, including the Liberated Consciousness Healing Journey course, Restoring Consciousness Toolkit, subconscious affirmations, subconscious mapping services, and so much more. If you'd like to connect with me personally and explore these concepts in relation with your own personal experiences along the healing journey of loving liberation, you can schedule a one-on-one or group video call ranging from 30 minutes to 2 hours. You choose how long you want to connect for. And we'll create a personalized version of the Liberated Consciousness diagram, which is actually a treasure map of the soul. So it's like really cool because it's a treasure map. We're finding the treasure maps of your soul. Like that's kind of a big deal. Like we're literally finding the treasure. It's a treasure map to these like aspects of your soul. Like that's pretty cool. And we'll explore all these things I just talked about, where we look at what's happening on the surface. We take those clues, we trace them back to stimulant-dependent neural pathways in the body-mind. We trace them back to these different energetic pathways in hundreds of trillions of regions of this information throughout 4 distinct subconscious sectors, and how these unconscious memories in relation with the well-being of attachment systems are creating this unique style of personal experience through subconscious navigation. And we will come face to face, intimately connect with, bring awareness to these parts of the self who are within those deeper experiences of the body-mind. And we'll distinguish who they are from the experience, allow you to connect with who they actually are, and then have power to be there for the parts of the self, to consciously respond to any of these experiences, and to shape shift the brain-body wiring from the inside out so that you can actually change the way it navigates existence in the future. Okay? So from this session, you will not only be able to understand experience and have awareness of these parts of the self, but then from that, you'll have actual like hands-on magical tools and awareness and power and opportunity and like awesomeness to be there for those very specific parts of yourself who are experiencing life beyond awareness, to consciously respond to whatever navigation is happening on the surface of reality, and to transform, transmute, rewrite, resculpt, reconstruct that brain-body wiring in a fun, simple, enjoyable, easy, and yet rewardingly effective way. And you can explore that through subconscious mapping services or mapping mysterious minds, which is offered through 30-minute, 45-minute, 1 hour, hour and a half, 2-hour sessions through video calls, either one-on-one or in a small group. If you have a group of friends you're sharing the healing journey of loving liberation with, you can come in and we can make these maps for everybody in the group and kind of go over them in general, or one by one kind of go over specific interpretations of it. It's a whole lot of fun. It's so exciting. It's just a great, great time. Just an absolute incredible experience, and we gain so much awareness and power in the process of really igniting this loving liberation from the inside out. If you want to dive deep into understanding every crevice and corner of the liberated consciousness treasure map or diagram to have greater awareness about your own internal existence from the inside out and the sense of self, the parts of consciousness who are flowing through these 4 body-mind regions, hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways of information affected by every nanosecond of personal experience in relation with how these internal needs of attachment systems are doing, I also offer liberated consciousness classes. And you can come just one person, but ideally a group if you have a small group of friends that you are sharing the healing journey of loving liberation with. And I teach a class about this diagram, about this treasure map, and then we explore it abstractly and then also specifically and personally. And so you learn about these informations, this insight that can help you understand your own personal experience and the personal experiences and realities of anyone and everyone you know. So you have greater power in your interactions with other people as well. And then from this expanded awareness of all that we learn about this liberated consciousness treasure map, to use this treasure map in a way that fits your healing journey and applies the abstract information in a very specific and personal way. And with this class, you receive a nice succinct outline of all the different components of the liberated consciousness treasure map. And so it's time with me through a video call, and it's also this nice outline that just gives you all this incredible information, and we explore it all and learn about it and apply it, and it really boosts the healing journey in some incredibly powerful ways. If you have any questions about any of my offerings before purchasing a course or scheduling a call, you can always complete the Connect with Kristen form on the homepage of my website with any clarifying questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have before you jump into these amazing offerings to evolve your healing journey of loving liberation into the next level and layer of incredible transformative expansion that inevitably awaits you. You can find out more about all of these amazing offerings through KRISTIN'S Consciousness Consultancy, and I would just be honored to share. These concepts are just so fascinating and incredible and amazing. They make sense of so much of reality that maybe didn't make sense before. They take these really complex concepts of like neuroscience and like hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways of body-mind and just like really break it down in these very simplistic, succinct ways that are colorful and fun and easy to understand, and they make a lot of sense, and just a great loving liberation in that journey because you get to know who the self is independent of all the automations of experience and brain-body wiring and unconscious memories and navigation and all that stuff. So it's just an absolutely incredible time, and I'm so excited to share with you. Thank you for exploring this infinite magic. Be sure to check out my treasure trove and all these different incredible offerings and just explore how these ideas can be applied in your own personal journey and how the awareness of these concepts can expand your sense of healing, restoration, personal power reclamation, transcendent transformation, and loving liberation, because we all deserve to experience that to its fullest maximum degree of infinite potential. And I am so grateful to serve in this journey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And I will see you in another content creation, or if I'm lucky enough to share some of my offerings through my business with you. Have a beautiful and blessed day, soul friends. I am free. I am free to run. I am free to run. I am free to live in love. I am free to live in love. I am free. I am free. I am free to share. I am free to create. I am free to live my truth. I am free to live my purpose. I am free. I am free.